It's the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle JCRB Krause.
We've done hundreds of episodes, and they've all started like that, almost. Not
Pretty
all of
much.
them, no, but most of them. Yes. Hello, Ian.
Hello, Kyle.
What are we doing today?
We're answering questions from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Oh, weird. Trying something new.
Yeah.
Wow.
It's not. It really isn't.
Here's a question from Mephilis' #1 fan to start us off. I don't know. Mephilis seems to have a lot of fans, especially these days. So you may have to fight someone for that title. Anyway, what would Eclipse do if he met Mephilis? Would he, quote-unquote, join with him to try and make Shadow join them? While, of course, planning to betray Mephilis with Shadow later. Or would he try to make an uneasy truce with Shadow until Mephilis was defeated?
You've basically told the story. He starts off with Mephilis, plans to betray him, gets betrayed by Mephilis, has to join up with Shadow to save the world.
Well, there you go. You've done it.
Why would Eclipse save the world? Well, because that's the big buffet. Mephilis is going to destroy everything. Do you know how hungry it would be to have nothing to eat? No, he has to save the world.
Nice. All right. Malia has a question. A piece of new info from the Final Horizon that caught some people's eye was that the symbol shown throughout the game was meant to represent the god of the ancients, who might still be around, judging from Sage's lines about it, and the giant sky symbols taking the Coco to the afterlife? Was it always in the script that the symbol meant this, and they just didn't have time to cover it in the base game? Or was the ancients' deity only added in as a concept when Final Horizon was in the works? Asking for my fellow tinfoil hat theorists and lore nuts.
The symbol was not in my script, nor was the explanation of it being a sign of a deity. That was all added after me. So what does that mean in the long term? We'll all find out together.
Ooh, interesting. Morlis has a question. As the new Diamond Cutters' efforts to recruit new members continue, they eventually bring in a shy lizard girl who happens to be one of Sonic, Amy, Tails, and Knuckles' old friends. What are the Neo Diamond Cutters' initial impression of Trip, and how well does Trip mesh with them? Bonus points if Trip accidentally foils Duo's plans to mess with them.
Oh, she absolutely would in all the wrong ways, which is to say the right ways.
Yes.
I mean, Tangle adores her. Like, she's just so cute, and she tries so hard, and she's got such cool armor, and she can breathe fire, and she's so cute. And oh my gosh, she's already friends with Sonic and Amy, Tails and Knuckles. That's so cool. Let's all be friends together.
Yes. Yes.
Whisper appreciates someone who knows how to, put on body armor, for pity's sake. The clumsiness isn't her favorite attribute, but, if she can get along with Tangle.
She's used to it. I was going to say, she should be used to it by now.
And again, at least she's wearing armor. Lanolin is initially excited because, an experienced hero.
Uh-oh.
And someone who brings their own armor and has fire breath. You're going to be a great asset. What do you mean she's clumsy as all get out?
Oh, no.
Oh, no, it's just Tangle, but she's got a harder hardness to her.
Well, maybe Lanolin
bounces off walls, Trip goes through them.
Maybe she can direct Trip where she needs to go. Like, okay, you go this way and bumble along and do your thing that you normally do.
And Duo's like, oh, okay, so she already has ties with the other characters. That makes things difficult. However, she's incredibly clumsy and naive. I can play this to my advantage. Oh, no, I'm going down the stairs.
Oh, no.
Yes, she'll fall over this tripwire and initiate my cunning tiger trap in the middle of the base. Wait, she stepped over it. No, she stepped on it and it didn't work. I don't understand. I have to investigate. Oh no, I'm in the trap.
Shucks. Darn.
Full Looney Tunes. Absolutely.
Yes. Tripwire. But
Yo.
Here's a question from Mixiger17. Eggman successfully pepper sprays Sonic, Shadow, Amy, Knuckles, Surge, Starline, and completely by accident, of course, himself. Your choice if this happens all at once or individually, whichever you think would be funnier. Have fun with reactions and retaliation.
Yeah, we can't do these laundry lists of people anymore, folks. So let's narrow it down to like the top 5. Here.
Choose some, maybe. Choose a couple.
I mean, Eggman at first is confident because he's always wearing those glasses. But now it's in his mustache, so it's constantly being breathed in, and he can't wash it out fast enough.
Yeah.
Lots of angry flailing on his part. Sonic is temporarily immobilized because that stuff sucks.
Yeah.
But, he rolls with it. Surge might be able to bounce back a trifle bit faster because of that healing factor, but it's going to throw her for a bit of a loop, too. Knuckles is going to keep punching. Doesn't matter that he can't see or breathe. He's going to keep punching. Woe be unto you if you're in the way. And I guess if Eggman's also been blasted in the face, he's going to get punched in the gut. Serves him right. And Shadow's just like, more like paprika spray. Try something with a little bit of bite to it, why don't you?
Sure.
Yeah, there's tears in my eyes. I'm moved at how pathetic that was.
Shadow grabs the spray can and sprays himself all completely.
Thanks, Doc. I'll put this on my salad. Funny, I need a breath freshener.
Yeah.
Minty and cool.
Oh, man.
Why are you weaklings writhing on the ground? Do you need another dose?
Why can't BumbleKast Shadow be the real Shadow? Oh, man.
We're just like, what is that scent? My new cologne, Eau de Bermes.
Oh, no. Oh, man.
It goes under the arms and gets under your skin.
Ow. He is the ultimate life form, I suppose. Oh, man. All right, here's a question from Noni. Hi, question. Do Zeddy see in shrimp colors?
Yes. I'm going to fight for that one. Hold on. Pause the show. I need to make a call. Zuko-san, do I have an idea that I've stolen for you?
Oh, boy. And we got one from Anonymous. IDW sticks when? No, but seriously, do you think there's still a chance we might see our favorite Badger in the comics?
I think there's a non-zero chance. I don't know when it'll happen, but I still want it to. So add it to the list of things I'm championing and may happen one day.
Come on, Ian. You can do it. I believe in you.
Well, I'm not really lead writer on the book anymore. I don't have as many options.
I believe in you that you can make sticks canon some way, whether it's in the games or comics or both. I want it. Give me sticks. Normal person has a question. Jewel and Lanolin find themselves as marketable plushies for the day. How would they feel under the situation, and how would they react to seeing Starline being sent on another adventure?
I imagine they would be very unsettled, especially with the complete lack of agency or movement.
Yes, they're just sitting there and they're like, I don't understand this.
And while they have no affinity for Dr. Starline, they are horrified at what that Rottweiler is doing to that plush.
No! Oh, man.
Now you got me thinking of like the Jewel plush with like that iridescent, like reflective fabric. That would look great.
That'd be amazing.
Question is, does Lanolin have like pre-stitched fluff, or is it like just straight cotton? Like actual fluff. Probably wouldn't endure well, but it would be authentic.
Yeah. Depends on the manufacturer.
Yeah,
I suppose. Could be like the laundry ball, the fabric laundry ball stuff.
Yeah, maybe.
That could work. Either way, it would be adorable, and I want these now. So, somebody get on that. Here's one from Onyxodon. When making a villain, how do you decide their fate? In Starline's case, what made you decide the way he gets killed in issue 50?
Well, with most of the villains, my intention is to have them be recurring so that they serve a role within the greater narrative and to spice things up in between the Eggman encounters. Let Eggman be the big bad and have some lesser foes to show you just how big of a bad that Eggman is. Starline was different in that he actually had an arc, and that kind of manifested as time went on. I didn't want him to go down the same path as like Snively and Grimer and Sleet and like every other one before him, where they, turn on Eggman entirely. He always had the affection and the respect. It's just he got up into his own head. He fell for his own ego. So watching that climb as he learns all the wrong lessons from Eggman and decides to make his big play, now you have him going up against the big bad, someone that, Sonic has to make an effort to defeat. And to show just how big of a bad Eggman is, there has to be consequences. Therefore, the story of someone who idolizes terrible people, styles himself after them, tries to make himself one of them, and, oh no, there's consequences to my actions, all seemed like a pretty logical arc as it came into play.
Yeah, that makes sense to me.
I mean, in more general terms, what is the scope of your story? Is it finite? Is it supposed to be serialized? And what is the role of the villain? Or, well, there's a difference between antagonist and villain, so I don't want to specify that. Let's just stick with villain. What is the role of the villain? Are they there to just spice things up? Are they there to seriously challenge your hero or protagonist or whoever? Or are they there just for fun? Are they Starline or are they Team Rocket?
Yeah.
Are they going to go blasting off again and come back for the next exploit? This is one of the problems I had with the Thundercats reboot back in the early aughts. Or was it the early teens? Good gosh, I don't remember. But they brought back some of the mutant henchmen, and in their initial appearances, they were horrible, nasty, villainous villains. Look how serious we are with this take. And within a few episodes, they had devolved into your Rocksteady and Bebop bumbling buffoons.
Yeah.
And the dissonance between the two was tragic. There's a lot about that show that's tragic. But there seemed to be a lack of foresight for where they were going with these characters and what role they would play overall. So when you're writing your villain, decide what they're going to do. Where are they going to go? Are they going to grow? Are they going to change? Are they going to serve as a foil to your protagonist so that the protagonist grows for the better, but the villain doesn't learn the right lessons and thus shows what would happen if the hero had fallen or made mistakes? And it all depends on what you're going to utilize that villain for.
Mm-hmm. Alrighty. Anything else?
No, that's good for now.
Alrighty. Next question is from Professor Scruffymet. So, funny story. While rewatching Dragon Ball Z Abridged, recently I misheard the name Zarbon as Zalmom and had a wait, what? Moment. So, I was wondering how different would DBZ Abridged be if the Ginyu Force were replaced by the Deadly Six? For this scenario, let's assume the Deadly Six have a combined power level similar to the Ginyus. And break.
See, I'm sorely tempted to start quoting abridged Zarbon lines as Zamam, but I don't know if that would particularly fly with our show.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy.
It'd be funny, but maybe I should show a little bit of discretion there.
I mean, you'd think I would be the one to do it, but I have not seen enough Dragon Ball Z Abridged, and I don't remember enough of it because my memory is awful to do this off the top of my head, so...
Why isn't he naked? What? To absorb all the healing juices. It's probably about the safest I can be.
Forgot Zamam sounded like that. Oh, no.
So TBZA, but the Ginyus have been replaced by the Deadly Six. And now I'm just imagining them all gathered together, like just the stock art and the abridged Kai. It's the Deadly Six! Boom! Goku's pod kills them all.
Oh, man.
And give them the same power levels. I mean, what would be the pair? Well, there's 5 Ginyus and 6 Deadly Six, so we'd have to have some crossover. I'm overthinking the joke.
I think so.
Although now I kind of wish we could have the Team 4-star crew just riff on the Deadly Six. That'd be fun.
That would be funny. Well, maybe someday.
It's hard to say because, part of the fun of DBZA is the lampoon and the loving restructure of the material that's there that is very based on the characters themselves. sometimes, building upon how they were underutilized in their brief appearances. So just transplanting the Deadly Six in, it's like, okay, well, they don't have a role in the story unless you find like parallels between them so that they can fill in those roles, in which case they're kind of just telling the same jokes again. So maybe I'm overthinking the joke.
Maybe. Well, I can't help you. I'm useless. But I can read a darn good question. So I'm gonna read this one from Rabbit Haver. What do you think Silver's first horror movie experience was like? Whose idea was it to make him watch? And how did he handle it? Did he get startled by the jump scares? Did he have nightmares afterwards? Or is he so used to real life horrors that they don't bother him at all?
Yeah, I think maybe Sonic kind of got him into it because it was going to be fun. And Amy's like, be nice. Don't pick anything too scary. He's like, yeah, whatever. We'll make it comfy. It'll be fine. And Silver's like, on a comfy couch in a cozy, dimly lit room with a bowl of popcorn. You got food. You got comfort. We're going to watch some of this prehistoric entertainment. He's all set. It's greing. Sonic's feeling a little guilty because he's already enjoying this a little too much. And then Silver just like overthinks the entire movie.
Yeah.
Why didn't she see the guy with the mask? He was standing right there. Wait, where did he go? Oh, can he teleport? That's a pretty powerful technique. Why are they splitting up? If they stayed together, they'd be able to fight him off better. Oh, well. Yeah, that's a pretty bad way to go. I remember when Steve went that way.
Oh, no.
He screamed for longer, though. It's pretty tragic. You more popcorn?
Everyone else is looking at him like, I'm sorry. Oh, man. Rest in peace, Steve. Oh, no, they got Larry.
Trevor, I pine for you. You thought you'd get an episode without a Homestar reference. You were wrong.
Never. He would be critiquing like what the effects look like. That's not what a severed arm looks like.
There's not that much blood. Come on.
That's not what a stabbing a man in the back sounds like.
Although it does reminds me of the one time we had to track down the Kool-Aid Man for sustenance. That was pretty grisly.
Whoa.
It was hard, too. That guy goes straight through walls. It's amazing.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, he's alive in this timeline.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Silver, no. Silver was living in a horror movie the whole time. Terrifying. Poor guy. Here's a question from Reckons. Seeking employment, Rough and Tumble are hired by none other than DuckTales 2017's Flintheart Glomgold. Their mission? Just help him bust up Scrooge's mansion and take all his stuff. How do they lose to the McDuck family, and how long before Rough and Tumble get fed up with Glomgold's Heart of Flint?
My God, what an episode.
Yes. Good old Glomgold.
I mean, first, sure, they'd be on board, and all they have to do is bust up some rich guy's place and take whatever they want. Easy peasy. Let's see. I imagine Huey has some kind of Junior Woodchuck guidebook way of laying traps throughout the manor. Like, goes full on Schwarzenegger from Predator to catch one of them. Louie just cons the other. It's like, oh, hey, you taking our stuff? Yeah, what are you going to do about it? Oh, nothing. You can take the cheap stuff. Looking at this solid gold piece. This is cheap? Yeah, you want the real stuff? Come with me. It's leading him through the manor, through trap after trap. Keep coming. The real stuff's down this way. Just leads him to, like, the back exit. All right, here you go. Thanks for the tour. Yeah. Wait a minute. And then, the third or fourth time they've managed to be expelled from the manor, Glomgold is completely done with their antics. I'm not even going to include my name in your rap intro anymore. Come crawling back into the manor out of spite, and Scrooge's like, what do you even want in here? Look, I'll give you each $5 just to make Glomgold's day worse.
$5. Oh man!
Look, you didn't say a piece. You get $5 to split.
Oh no! Oh no! Oh man! That is pretty generous for Scrooge, to be fair. Then again,
it's the smallest bill he had on at the time.
Oh, okay. Wouldn't give him a nice shiny dime, your number one dime. What about Duckworth? Duckworth is a ghost, so.
Well, I said the 3 or 4 times, so you can vary it up.
Okay.
Webby kicks him out at some point. You got everybody gets in there except for Dewey. Dewey's got his own subplot and is oblivious to the entire ordeal.
And Dewey's over there doing something else. All right, here's a question from Relaxed Hoodie. I've been getting 100% trophies and achievements on the Soulsborne games. Got through Elden Ring and Bloodborne, so I wanted to ask, have you both ever 100%ed a game? If so, what was the most difficult?
Nope.
Yes. I have 100%ed a few games in my life, at least. Blast Core was a tough one. That is not an easy game to get all platinum medals. It was a heck of a time, I'll tell you. And then I started doing it again. It's like, what is wrong with me? I have problems, apparently. That's the one I can remember off the top of my head right now as being particularly difficult. Oh, F-Zero GX. That's right. Yeah, I did full master everything, all the master difficulty Grand Prix.
Holy crap.
And the full story mode, complete story mode, and unlocked all the AX stuff. I really wanted to have the AX stuff. And, well, there wasn't really an option to get around it. So, to get it, other than play through the game on master difficulty. And, yeah, it took me a long time. And, it was rough.
Could you see individual raindrops after that point?
No.
Read the serial number on a bullet as it passes by? Good Lord, man.
No, I was still playing this game on real hardware on a CRT TV, so, the resolution wasn't that high.
Yeah, but the twitch reflexes alone, I think you get an honorary black belt for that.
Well, I mean, I had a lot of practice with racing games, to be fair.
Yeah, but there's Daytona and then there's F-Zero GX.
I've been playing F-Zero my whole life, man, almost. So,
Good night.
F-Zero X I also completed, unlocked everything in that one and all the difficulty levels. So, yeah. Yeah, I have zero interest in doing that for most games, but there's a few sometimes that sink their hooks into me real good, and F-Zero is usually one of those. So, yeah, I love that though. That's fun stuff. So, yeah, I'm not doing it again though. I mean, I did it once.
You climbed Everest once. Why do it a second time?
I did start doing F-Zero GX again pretty recently. I started playing through it, and I'm like, yeah, I don't need to do this again. I don't need to put myself through this again. I don't have time these days. I can't deal with this. I can't deal with this. Being asked if I 100%ed Mario 64. Yeah, multiple times. I also 100%ed it with a shotgun. Shotgun Mario 64. That's a fantastic ROM hack if you have not played it, by the way. Works great, and it's makes the game surprisingly easy to 100%. So, I have actually not really played Donkey Kong 64, so no, sorry. That's a game that requires a lot of time, mainly. It's not even that hard, it's just time-consuming. Oh, well. Here's a question from Relaxed Hoodie. Oh, nope, we just did that one. Sorry. Here's a question from Rock-A-Million. Here's a fun question for both of you. What are some of your favorite pieces of media outside of Sonic?
Oh, the original Star Wars trilogy. Fellowship of the Ring.
That's it. None of the other ones.
I mean, they're okay, but Fellowship of the Ring extended cut,
Yeah.
I will put on as a comfort movie and just watch and love every time. The other two, there's moments, but they don't resonate with me as much as the first one. The first one had some transcendent moments for me. The others are just kind of like, yeah, you're there.
Mm-hmm.
Same goes for the Pirates of the Caribbean trilogy.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They're just comfort movies.
It's like me and Back to the Future.
Mm-hmm.
It's just good movies to put on, just to have on. Star Wars is kind of the same way for me. I just, I enjoy it.
I mean, if you've been listening to the show, you're waiting for me to say Skies of Arcadia. So Skies of Arcadia.
Mm-hmm,
there you go.
Mm-hmm.
Shadow of the Colossus. That was an experience.
Yeah.
And, the full-on remake remaster they did on PS5. That was worth the money spent just to have it look like what you remembered it looking like on the PS2.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I always have a love and admiration for Mystery Science Theater 3000. That's so much. I love that show so much. It's had so much heavily inspired my, just my sense of humor and everything. Geez, yeah, there's a lot. I mean,
now because YouTube's made it nigh impossible to like listen to music.
Yeah,
I popped onto Spotify and rediscovered a bunch of old albums and stuff that I used to listen to all the time in high school. And it's like, wow, this takes me back. And then like another album just auto queued up from a similar time frame. It's like, oh, this is when I was going through that bad breakup. I was not prepared to unpack all these emotions out of the blue. How dare you?
Oh no. Oh man. Don't need to relive that. Don't need to go through that again.
Well, let's just say I've been listening to a lot of Sugar Ray lately.
Well, every morning.
Mm-hmm.
Sam Cybercat has a question. We have a lot of these, quote unquote, putting IDW characters in different world questions. So, how would Tangle fare if she took on the role of Frodo in Lord of the Rings? As a bonus, Jewel can be Sam because they came from the same hometown. All other characters remain the same.
You know what? It would probably play out generally the same anyway. You would just have a more immediately upbeat and happy Froggle?
Frodangle?
Froggle. Nah, I don't know. I guess Jewel-wise Gamgee. But anyway. Yeah, Tangle going, maybe I can just reach Mount Doom from here and start stretching the tail out. Nope, can't get that far. Oh, well. Let's go on an adventure.
Oh, man. And I just want Tangle telling Gandalf to, all right, keep your secrets.
I mean, pretty much that entire opening sequence, I can just see Tangle more or less rolling with it.
Yep.
And, all the more tragic that someone so upbeat and undefeatable being corrupted by the ring.
Mm-hmm.
Heartbreaking when she tells Jewel to go home. And then the utter absolute triumph of Jewel saying, I may not be able to carry it, but I can carry you, and just taking flight and hauling Tangle.
Yes. Yes.
Although when Bilbo goes whole, snarly, scary jump scare, she's going to punch him across the room. That would be different. Just like, pow! Oh, sorry, Uncle Frodo. So sorry. Are you okay? Ooh, you're 111. I bet that smarts. I'm so sorry.
You mean Bilbo, not Frodo.
Yeah. One of the bows.
One of those guys. I don't know.
Okay, that would be another difference. She would actually be fighting the cave troll, like actively trying to get into the mix. But...
Yeah. You shall not pass. And question from Scurvy Pirate Dog. Sonic SatAM got canceled after Season 2. However, in another dimension, it did not. It continued for many more years. It continued up until Sonic Adventure 2, Because of this, not only did it feature the return of Robotnik, but also more game characters were included into the show, including Knuckles, Amy, Metal Sonic, Rouge, and Shadow. However, they were not included as they are in the games. They were reimagined to fit the lore and style of Sonic SatAM. So the question is, Ian, what were the SatAM versions of these characters like? And no, you can't just say, look at Archie, because that's lazy.
All right, I'll be lazy. Look at Archie. Next. Nah.
There was enough differences, I think you could.
It's hard to say because, SatAM was very much a product of its time.
True.
And had it endured into the global brand consolidation of the early aughts, it's hard to say how much control Sega Japan would have had on those later seasons. Like, they may have ordered a full-on stylistic or narrative reboot. I don't know. But I guess for the sake of this question, it's assumed that the style is grandfathered in and Sega of America still has significant control over the brand in the North American market. So, I don't know. Amy, I imagine, would be like another war orphan from another village that they find. She's heard of the crazy, heroic, and successful Sonic, which drives Antoine up the bloody wall. And hey, now Tails has someone to hang out with that's about his age. Knuckles, well, we saw the floating island in SatAM, and it was the home of the Time Stone. So already right there, we're playing fast and loose with game material. So I would say just copy him from the OVA. He's a traveling treasure hunter, and maybe he's the one who found Robotnik after he got blipped across the continent or something at the end of season 2. Now Robotnik goes, oh, I had this magnificent city of wonders, but these eco-terrorists totally thwarted my plans to bring world peace.
Mm-hmm.
They had these incredible treasures called the Deep Power Stones. You're looking for those, aren't you? Let's team up. Hit some similar notes, but, vary it up a little bit.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Still looking for the Deep Power Stones after 12 seasons?
We're talking like across the seasons.
Oh, okay.
Season 3, season 4.
Yeah, okay.
Shadow and Rouge are harder to pin down because they are so closely associated with gun and these real world analog military industrial complex human governments that just didn't exist in SatAM.
Yeah.
So, I mean, maybe pull a page from the comic and have humans return from space, and I don't know, Rouge and Shadow are Mobians that are agents of them. Like, humans went into space and took their Mobian... Oh, I don't want to say slaves. That's such a harsh word. Permanent indentured servants. Why not? And I don't know if we get into the whole Black Arms mad science angle for Shadow. Maybe just keep him like Sonic. He's just a very powerful hedgehog.
Yeah, maybe. Keep it simple. That makes sense. The question...
And you could probably keep the Gerald angle, The humans went off into space, Gerald and Maria among them, but Robotnik was left behind.
Yeah.
Or he stayed behind. Yeah, you guys go off into space for whatever reason. I'll stay behind and conquer the animals. Ha 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 ha.
I'm assuming that in tradition, that Shadow would also be voiced by Jaleel White. Because all the hedgehogs that ever showed up during that time were all voiced by Jaleel White.
I'd pay a shiny nickel to hear Jaleel White do a Shadow.
Well, I guess he didn't voice Uncle Chuck, to be fair, but okay, fine.
Yeah, there's that, I guess.
All right, fine. Oh, man. Well, on that note, let's take a quick break and then come back with more on the BumbleKast. We're back, and it's time for more questions. This one is from SKO Jukebox. Amy and Trip have met up for their annual hangout sesh, and Amy has some extra fun in mind. Getting Trip off that isolated island for a day and bringing her to Station Square. How does this little lizard handle the big city? How much property damage is racked up via pratfalls? Can Trip's armor withstand the sheer amount of cars she keeps getting hit by?
Oh, the armor can, but...
Does the lizard inside gets liquefied? No.
No, it's just, Amy's looking at the sights and just hears another hit, screech, bang. Trip, come on. Look both ways before crossing the street.
And Trip wasn't even in the street. It was just some jerk running her over. It wasn't even her fault.
But, I don't know. Maybe Trip is dazzled by all the glitz and glamour of the big city. They just managed to rebuild that giant golden Sonic statue in Casinopolis, and guess who breaks it down?
It's fine.
She was just going for the slot machines. How did she break through the floor and land in the sewer?
And then she ends up in the showers. Weird.
Oh no, Trip in the Twinkle Park bumper cars. Oh no. Which is to say, oh yes.
Aww. Poor Trip.
She's getting creeped out by the hall of mirrors. Why is the music in here so spooky?
I don't like it.
It's a beautiful city and lots of friendly people and delicious hamburger plates with eerily realistic statues.
All right, here's one from Sylvia the Lynx. Is the Reverie, and by extension REM, supposed to be another case of hyper-advanced tech a la the Ancients? Or is its / her origins more magical or even divine in nature? Basically, I'm asking if REM is meant to be a techie AI or a more mystical being.
I'd say wait and see on that one. I don't want to put too fine a point on it.
Magic does not exist in Sonic's world, apparently. You can't mention magic. No magic allowed. Sonic Sword Fighter has a question. Who do you think is the hotter villain, Mephiles or Infinite? And no, neither is not an option. That's cheating.
Well, Mephiles can take on the form of anybody's shadow he possesses, so he can be as hot as anyone he possesses, really. So that we'll go with that.
The real question is who is hotter, Dan Green or Liam O'Brien?
Oh, come on now. That's not fair.
I mean, it's a tough decision. Yes.
It's like saying, do you want cake or ice cream? Why not both?
Yeah, pretty much. Spoiler 1001 has a question. After Sonic Adventure 2, did the body of the Biolizard ever come down from space, or is it still orbiting the planet?
Ew.
Well, it might be decayed by now. Wait, no, it's been less than a year since the events of Sonic 1, so never mind. It's been up there for a few days at best.
I mean, it wasn't on the Eclipse cannon when it blew up the Black Comet, so the corpse is gone. Maybe it fell off and burned up in re-entry.
Maybe. Or the Black Arms ate it on the way in.
Thank you for this lovely appetizer, Shadow.
Having a little snack.
Trifle chewy, but not bad otherwise.
Yep. Supersonic fan has a question. What if Fang met the bad guys from DreamWorks?
I have not seen that.
Me neither.
It looks like fun, but I just haven't seen it yet, so I can't really say.
Nope. Here's a question from Superior Pizza. It is time for the 2024 Olympic Games. Sonic and Mario are having a casual conversation and the topic of mothers comes up. Mario explains to Sonic that Mama Mario is just a nickname and his mother's real name is Maria. You can see where I'm going with this. Mario even pulls out a family picture and the woman in the picture looks exactly like Maria. What would Sonic do with this information? How would Shadow react to the idea she somehow survived and got her wish to live on Earth and even had a family? How would Eggman react to Mario and Luigi being his first cousins once removed?
Sonic would just straight up tell Shadow. He's like, you'd want to know this. It's like, you think you might want to let him down easy with this or something? No, he's just going to tell him. Okay.
Mamma mia.
Shadow would get real quiet and just kind of ask what happened to her now. And, well, Mario's a grown man. Mama Maria didn't last too long, unfortunately, so she's remembered fondly. And Shadow's content with, well, she lived in peace. She went peacefully. She had a family. And now he has peace. And suddenly he's not quite the same grump he used to be. Eggman's terrified now because if Bowser finds out, their alliance is just shot. It's kaput. he's going to be seen as like a shadow agent from the very beginning. No pun intended. No, honestly, I didn't know.
That pun was 100% intended, and you know it.
It's a reflex, dude. I can't help it.
Mamma mia. Here's a question from Stephen A. What's a Star Wars character you could see yourself having fun writing some adventures for? Is it Lando having to deal with selling the Sky Sanctuary Zone or Cloud City to pay off his debts?
I actually did write a small story starring Lando and Chewie, and that was extremely stressful.
I can imagine.
Trying to get that voice right, because Lando is so effortlessly smooth, and I am not.
Mm-hmm.
So trying to create that, even for a small story, was harrowing. I put too much thought into it, I'm sure, but I mean, come on. How often did you get to write Lando freaking Calrissian? I would be, if I got another shot, I feel like I'd have a lot of fun with some of the more obscure characters, the ones that have a little bit of meat to the bone but haven't been explored too much. Like, again, in that story, I actually got to advance in a small way the life of Sebulba, and that was fun because he was kind of a clean slate. There wasn't much of him after the prequels. It's like, oh, I don't have to go wading page after page, paragraph after paragraph through Wikipedia. It's, Sebulba. I can do what I want. Cool. And
Sebulba.
I don't know. Star Wars, the cast of Star Wars is so big.
Yeah.
Even the extended and ancillary universe stuff, it's like, I can't pick. It's like showing me a vat of M&Ms and saying, pick one. The green one, maybe?
They all taste the same, Ian.
Yeah, but shut up.
They're not like Skittles, which generally have the similar flavor profile to each other, but taste a little different per color.
The green Skittles aren't as good anymore. They did something to them.
Yeah. Okay, if you say so. All right, Switchel has a question. What would happen if, assuming there'd be no resistance, I used the entirety of Chaos Zero to make Jello? Would giving him Chaos Emeralds post-jellification give me more Jello? What flavored Jello would go best with his, I assume, lime-flavored eyes? Time-flavored eyes? What the heck?
He's adding Chaos Emeralds, not Time Stone.
Yeah. I don't know where that came from. Time-flavored eyes. Delicious.
And of course you would be getting more Jello because there's always room for Jello.
Yum. Perfect Jello.
Jello. Oh, no.
Oh, God. What would happen if we fed him the time stones? Oh, boy.
Huh.
Do we want to think about that? I don't know if we should.
What would you get? Timeless chaos? Perpetual chaos?
Yeah, like perpetual chaos. There we go. Yeah.
Quantum chaos? But I mean, chaos seems to gain more watery mass as each emerald is added.
Yeah.
So presumably if he is already fully gelotized, you would just be getting more Jello.
Yeah. Yeah. And a city just covered in Jello. It's what
and Supersonic can't land a hit because he bounces right off.
What flavor Jello would go best with the lime? I don't know.
Lemon?
Maybe. I don't know. I don't know who those crazy people are that put fruit in their Jello. Why would you do that?
Do they make blue Jello? What is it, like raspberry?
I think so. It's not. This isn't aspic Jello, is it? Is this sweet Jello? It's not like we're not in the 70s, are we? No, don't want. Do not want. No. Tessie of the Wise has a question. As someone who has lived in both the U.S. and Canada, what are your opinions on both countries' healthcare? Oh boy. Loaded question.
Let me put it this way, without getting too fine a point, exposing too much of personal business. Aaliyah has had a lot of health challenges over the years. In that time, we have been able to seek out doctors and specialists and tests and all manner of blood work and stuff and have never had to pause and say, can we afford this? It has always been a matter of, here is the ailment, let's find a way to alleviate it. That level of freedom and peace of mind is invaluable.
Mm-hmm.
And I know there is the statement of, well, you pay for it in your taxes. Yes, that's the point of taxes, to pay for services for the general community. I would much rather pay slightly higher taxes. And when you do the math, it is barely any more than I was paying in the States. When you take into consideration the health insurance I was paying, which means I'm paying the same amount of money. It's just with my U.S. health insurance, it was a gamble of whether or not they would cover it.
Yep.
So it's throwing money down a hole with the expectation of maybe saving a few bucks if things get disastrous versus the same level of health care at any point when we need it.
Yep. That's about right.
It's not perfect.
No.
Certainly. But it is incomparably superior.
Mm-hmm. Yep. All right. Here's one from the Oddly Roger. I know that you're not here to validate any of my ships, but can you validate my parking? These rates at Eggman Land are outrageous.
I'm sorry, sir. The only hours of operation for parking validation are between 9 a.m. and 9 a.m. Thank you for visiting Eggman Land. Please submit yourself to the nearest roboticizer and have a terrible day.
9 a.m. and 9 a.m.? Wow. Starting at 9 a.m. 000 and then ending at 9 a.m. 59. Here's one from the Phantomist. Starland Isekai adventures continue. This time he lands in the wacky world of Pizza Tower, working as an employee for Peppino's Pizza. Will he keep a low profile and get by without invoking Peppino's wrath? Or will he try and side with Pizza Face, only to be ground down to his primary ingredients, so to speak?
Oh, you know what he's going to try to do. He sees that tower and thinks he can take control. He thinks he can manage this for himself.
You think he can be the Pizza Tower? Of course. Pizza Tower man. Yes. He
gets his isekai delivered to him in 15 minutes or less.
Wow, yeah, he doesn't last long, apparently. Tick Tick has a question. Can you at least tell us what Black Dragon's gender is from Sonic Superstars?
No idea.
Nope. We'll go with they, or whatever you want. It's up to you. Hey, here's a question from Twilord. Sega decided in the comics that they want a Dark Mirror world, but unlike Moebius, they want a more Injustice meets Justice Lords style. What is the inciting divergence? How do Team Sonic fall, and do Team Dark also fall or become the Resistance?
I guess in this scenario, give the people what they want and just have, the ones that are going, well, why doesn't Sonic just kill Eggman? Why doesn't he go around and beat up all the bad guys all the time? All right, fine. That's the Sonic in this scenario.
There we go.
He decides he's going to protect the peace of the world by stomping on anything and everything that might remotely get in its way or in the way of him and his fun. And if you're against him, if you're not with him, you're against him. And you can see just how horrible of a character that would make him.
Yeah.
And I guess draw the battle lines from there. Shadow initially sides with him for similar and to justify the means thoughts, but then sees what it's doing to the world and decides that's not what Maria wanted, so he turns against him.
Wow, that's weird.
Tails, the corrupted protege, maybe. He believes in Sonic so much, and Sonic can do no wrong, and therefore if he feels that it's wrong, then he is wrong for it feeling wrong? He doesn't know. He's confused. But Sonic is his bestest friend, so he'll follow him no matter what.
Oh, boy. Oh, no. Poor Tails.
Knuckles doesn't care. Just stay off his island. Rouge is definitely with the Resistance. Amy, definitely in the Resistance, although she's torn because, she remembers how Sonic used to be, what he could be.
Oh, good. The inciting incident is not Amy dies.
No. Maybe inciting incident, we'll say Station Square.
Okay.
Eggman summons up perfect chaos, a whole city suffers the consequences, and Sonic's like, yeah, we're not doing that again.
Instead, the whole world's going to suffer Sonic's consequences. Diamond cutters? They're on the resistance side, I would assume.
Hard to say, because they didn't get wiped out this time around, because Eggman, we're assuming, is gone by SA1.
Those, okay, the original diamond cutters, yeah, okay. I was thinking the current ones, but yeah, guess they would be the old ones, the originals.
I don't know where they would fall on this.
Whoever paid him the most money.
I don't know. That's fertile ground for your fanfics. Go nuts, kids.
All right, Windstar Osprey has a question. If possible, do you remember what species the foreman/tassel boy was?
I don't think he had one.
He was
think it was just like come up with something and the artist did, and there you go.
He was just person.
He wasn't even supposed to be reoccurring as much as he was.
All right, and hey, what's Vector doing in here? What does he want?
Boss, you know I love you, but I got a bone to pick with you. You ask me, Vector, what do you like to eat? I says, a jar of pesto and discount spaghetti. Feeds 2.5 idiots for a week. You say, great, got it. I hear nothing back. Chimey comes home with a book from the library, all excited and bouncing around. I take a look at the tangled leads of a delicious mystery recipe that Chimey points out to me, saying he wants it, and see the ingredient list. 1/3 of a cup of pine nuts? That's like $10 a nuts. Then we had the fancy cheese and basil. What happened to the cheap pesto? Of course, I says no. I got a bee in Meltdown, a chameleon who has a sudden and urgent mission in Casino Night Zone, and me stuck with pasta that nobody's eaten. So, my question, can I borrow $10? Stupid thing looks good.
Fine, you can have $10, Vector.
Look, Vector, Bubby, all I did was help you guys get your interviews in for the cookbook, okay? Then it was given to Inside Editions, and they did their thing with the recipes and making it a little more fancy and whatnot. And I kind of saw this coming. That's why I coached Sonic a bit, and he says, these recipes are suggestions. Add or subtract as much as you want. Add your own flair. Keep it simple if you want. These are general ideas. Maybe a little embellished, but what's a good story without a bit of embellishment?
Yes. Now get out of here. We don't have enough room in the studio for all three of us.
That's going to wrap up this edition of the BumbleKast. Thanks to all our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members for supporting the show with your questions and, your money. Be good to yourselves, be good to each other, and we will see you next time on the BumbleKast.
If you can't afford pine nuts, try lug nuts. Thanks for that, Aaliyah. Ouch. That hurts. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. What accent does Ian do for Vector? That's like a New York style, New Jersey
Yeah.
accent, yeah.